I think you should definitely give it a try. I mean, it may not be for everyone, but I think what it's done to us particularly, it's transformed our mindset. And I think one thing that's been key is hearing somebody on the other side of the fence saying, well done, you've done a good job. Because there's been times where we probably have done a good job, but we haven't celebrated it. And Brenda's sort of key thing is to celebrate your wins. So it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it's like almost like a pat on the back to say you're actually doing a really good job. Total burnout. There was one Christmas in particular, myself and Ryan got to the point where we'd actually, I'd started recording how much extra work I was doing other than my 9 to 5, and so I wanted to compare it year on year, and that year in particular I'd worked a significant amount of extra hours, but I came out with the same wage, profit was the same, turnover was the same, and I'm thinking I'm completely burnt out. So like that 2 weeks at home over the Christmas period is supposed to be relaxing, but it was almost like the battery is totally empty. And to try and then be present at Christmas with the kids and my wife and the wider family was almost impossible because there was just no energy left. One of our things was that we probably developed some bad habits over the initial period of being in the business, and there was probably a clear untraining at the start to try and learn different methods and move away from what we'd been taught before or what we'd assumed was the way to do things, because we were naive, green-fingered, and I think once we'd kind of learnt how to do things differently and kind of be encouraged to do things differently, I think the business started to take off. Our biggest thing, or for me personally, was the accountability. I think realistically we're more than capable of doing it, but there's all that element of, well, there's something else that we have to do, or I need to be at that meeting, and the accountability is the biggest thing for myself. And this whole idea of not trying to run the whole business yourself and delegate is probably my biggest challenge, and it continues to be a challenge, but the more I delegate, the less stress I have. Yes, things might take slightly longer, or they might be done slightly differently, but that's not a bad thing. And I think you just have to, again, coming back to that untraining thing, it's like you just can't do everything yourself, and it's okay not to do it yourself. Without realising that, I think we maybe treated staff as a number, and now we're trying to build a team and build a good environment and a good culture. And that does take time, and we're also open to inviting our staff into meetings and ask them, what do you want? So as an example being is with new employment, and we're taking some people in that are senior in the team and saying, well, what is it that you need to help with your job? Do you need an apprentice, or do you need somebody more experienced? And that's something that would have been almost alien to us before. Turnover is up, profits are up, but I think most importantly is last year was the first year I'd taken all my holidays. Usually by the end of the year I've got 5 or 6 holidays days left, which is a sign that I'm not taking enough time away from the business. And I think with the other directors as well, that's been quite key, making sure we take our holidays and recharge the batteries along the way.